A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Night I've been here without. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Venom Truck Series, where we are at the throwback race for Season 5 of the Venom Truck Series. We are at North Wilkesboro, and we are closing down into the closing stretches of the season. Only 3 races left, including tonight. It's going to be here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Then we go to Darlington for a little bit of an endurance race, and then the season closes out on the 21st of March. That one's going to be at Rockingham for the closing race of the season. That's going to be something to watch here. So you're not going to want to miss that. You're not going to want to miss the action tonight either. And as a broadcaster, I tell you what, looking at some of these trucks, I am familiar with the paint schemes, but not familiar with the drivers driving the paint schemes. So bear with me if I get a couple of names wrong here tonight. My name is Matt Williamson. Tonight, I do not have Mr. Tommy Cook with me, who is usually my commentary partner. I'm usually the one pressing the buttons and just kind of adding my 2 cents. But tonight, you're going to get to hear me call all of the action for you. So stick with me here tonight. I'm going to go through a little bit of the points battle here. And I say points battle, to be honest. Up front, the first place driver, there's not much of a points battle. I tell you what, Andy Policky, he has been as consistent as can be. He has a 62-point lead over the rest of the field. Steve Vrooman is currently sitting in second. And you only get 40 points for a win here in the Venom Truck Series. So Andy Policky is a whole race and a half up in points over second place right now. And with only 3 races to go, he has all but wrapped up this championship. Just needs to make sure nothing catastrophic happens here tonight and then at Darlington. And I think he's pretty much got it wrapped up, but I don't want to curse anybody here on the broadcast. But second through sixth, they are only separated by 10 points total. So there is a really, really heavy battle for second place in the points right now. We are currently in practice, and the track temperature was quite warm. I'll take a look at it right before we start the race, but it was up to about 120 degrees on the track temperature. So that's pretty warm. This is going to be a little bit comparable to Nashville Fairgrounds as far as this racetrack goes, and we had quite a few cautions there. So hoping to see it maybe be a little bit cleaner here tonight, but we'll have to see. And anybody who's out there in YouTube land checking us out tonight, watching the Venom Truck Series, throw a little line in the chat. Let me know that you're watching, and I'll give some shout-outs to you throughout the night. Also want to give a shout-out to Nathan Reynolds, who he just hit 1,000 subscribers. He's actually a little bit over 1,000 now on YouTube. That YouTube channel is Car Inside. So he just hit 1,000 subs, but if you want to make sure he stays there and keeps growing, maybe go throw him a bone. He's running an Eric breeding paint scheme tonight, so he looks a little bit different out there on the track, but you know who he is. He's going to be fighting for a top spot here. I asked him before the race started how he's feeling, and he said that he hasn't really had much time to practice at this track, so he's not very optimistic, but just hoping to kind of stay out of trouble, I think. He knows how that Nashville Fairgrounds race went, and he's hoping that he can just stay out of some of the scuffle that we had there. Alrighty, and it is about time that we get to the starting lineup. On the pole here tonight at North Wilkesboro, it's going to be Ryan Dye in that number 15 machine. Starting on his outside, it'll be Will Salamoni in the 99. Nathan Reynolds, who we just mentioned, he's starting in third, second row on the inside. So he's looking to stay out of trouble and make something happen early. On his outside, it's your series points leader, Andy Policky. Needs to keep it clean tonight, and he might have this thing wrapped up. Starting in fifth, it'll be Jeff Langston. Chad Stearns in sixth. Brantley Gainey, who just got his first win last week at Atlanta, he'll be starting seventh. Corey Rutherford, eighth. Michael Carl starting in ninth. Jeremy McKinnon rounds out the top 10. After him, Jan Van Leer, Paul Ellison. Rodney Matney, who is making another start here. We haven't seen much of him here this season. Made his first start at Atlanta. He's starting in 13th. Michael Dean on his outside. In 15th, Pascal Samard, Eric Breeding, Garrett Rainey, Steve Vrooman, Luke Peterson, and Ethan Patterson round out the top 20. Behind them, it'll be Cole Maxwell, Ryan Borboom, John Kay, and Paul Sargent. And then rounding out our field here tonight will be Kyle Dumig and Flinky Roberts in the tail end of the field. Alrighty, folks. Let's take a quick look at our track temperature here tonight. Still at 120 degrees. I'll tell you what, these trucks are going to be getting real loose, both out of the corners and into the corners. That's going to be something to watch, especially here on cold tires to start this race. Our fuel window here, if there's a few cautions and you really want to stretch it, you could stretch this thing all the way out if you really wanted to. Go the whole 150 laps here tonight around North Wilkesboro as Ryan Dye takes the green flag, and we are off and away at North Wilkesboro. The Sundrop 150. Whoa, and a little stacked up there. Jeff Langston got a little loose. He backs up Chad Stearns and Jeremy McKinnon. Stearns loses a spot. McKinnon up quite a few already. He was able to capitalize. Oh, and the caution's out. This one happened here in the back. That's Ethan Patterson that ended up going around. See if we can take a quick look at that one. That's Patterson on the outside in the 81. Oh, and he just gets really hot into turn 3. And, oh, the 46 is Sargent. Man, I tell you what, he has about the worst luck when it comes to trucks crashing in front of him. It was a good start for Ryan Dye. As we have our first caution of the race going into lap number 4. And this is a little bit of what we were afraid of. This is kind of the same deal we had at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Cautions early. And you know what we say here on Turn 200. Tommy loves to say it. Cautions breed cautions. And I highly doubt we'll have anybody coming into the pits here. Other than maybe way in the back, possibly. Doesn't look like anybody has. And we're going to line up double file, and we will be going green the next time around. Ryan Dye leads us to the line again. Nathan Reynolds looking darn good in that Eric Breeding paint scheme on the outside, though. I tell you what, it is scary running the wall out there. It's pretty easy to get tight and find yourself into that outside wall. But if you can carry that momentum, it's a quick way around the racetrack. Oh, a little bit farther back, that's Gainey that brushed the wall into turn 3. Doesn't seem to affect him too much. He's working on the outside. That's Chad Stearns in the 05 on the bottom. Jan Van Leer, good old JVL on that number 5. That's a good-looking orange truck there. I think that's a LeBron James crown logo on the front of that thing. Boy, Jeff Langston in the 21 is under fire heavily from Gainey and Stearns. Oh, he's loose out of turn number 2. Stearns working the bottom. Can't get around him. Farther here up in the front, Reynolds continues to work the outside. This Dye is kind of working about a half a groove up. Policky really working the bottom here. And Jeremy McKinnon, it's his MO to push early, and he has. He started in 10th. He's all the way up to 5th here in this lead pack. There's about 5 trucks that are here in the lead pack, and then behind that it's Stearns, Langston, and Gainey, who we've seen battling. Stearns looking underneath Langston again. Early on, where there's not a lot of tire fall off, it is difficult to pass. Now, a little bit later on in the race, when that fall off starts to happen and be a little bit stronger, I think you'll see the field spread out a little bit. And now Policky, who is bottom feeding this thing right now, he's even with Nathan Reynolds looking for solo second place. He's clear now. As he takes second, he's going to look to the 15. Oh, and Will Salamone, I don't know if he got loose or if he got a little help from Jeremy McKinnon. It was hard to tell there. McKinnon's up to 4th now. Chad Stearns in the 05 finally gets around Langston. Now, the Brantley Gainey looks to the bottom of Langston. They're both loose out of turn number 2. And the laps are gonna quick. They're gonna click off pretty quick here. As you can see, the top 10 all single file. We're starting to finally find a little bit of a rhythm and get spread out just a bit. McKinnon here is going to try and work underneath of Reynolds. Reynolds finally moves down to the bottom. He was working the top side for the first 15 laps or so. He got passed by a couple of trucks, and he decides to start bottom feeding a little bit here, see how that works out for him. Farther back in the pack, we'll start talking about some of these paint schemes. Paul Ellison in the 55, he's running a John K, Allstate John K Dairy Queen paint scheme tonight. That is a good looking truck right there. There's a lot of them here tonight. Ellison started 11th, still sits in 11th. Some of the big movers, Corey Rutherford in the 50, he is down 10 spots. I'm not sure if he had some sort of an incident. I know he was behind that first incident with Patterson. Just tried to avoid it. And for those of you that don't know, since we're talking about paint schemes in the throwback race tonight, Corey Rutherford, he actually does and creates a lot of the paint schemes that our drivers use here in the Venom Truck Series. There's a big battle going on in front. Steve Vrooman, who's second in the points, he is buried back here in the pack. He had a terrible qualifying effort. Started 18th. He's up 3 spots to 15th now. And Vrooman, he's a veteran. He's a crafty racer, and he uses pit strategy quite a bit to make his way up towards the front. So as this race progresses, I believe we will see Steve Vrooman get into the top 10, if not even maybe into the top 5 before the night's over, maybe. Up here in the front, Policky finally able to get to the bottom of Ryan Dye. He followed him for a lot of laps here, and now they battle side by side. I believe this 15 scheme is Jeremy McKinnon's first ever scheme he used in the Venom Truck Series. So a nice little throwback to one of the mainstayers. And the caution is out. There was an incident a little bit farther back here in the pack. That's Garrett Rainey who went around. Rocking that Myrtle Beach, South Carolina scheme here. Let's go ahead and see what happened. This is actually Cole Maxwell is going to spin out here. I'm not sure where Rainey comes into the picture. Oh, and here's Rainey. This is where Rainey goes around. He just gets loose and then gets tapped in the rear by not Paul Ellison. That's Corey Rutherford. So actually a couple of separate incidents there. And that one brings just about everybody down pit road. You weren't able to see it here. But everybody came into the pits except for Jeremy McKinnon and John Kay. So they will be starting on the front row without taking tires. Now, I know we're only 30 laps into this thing, and the laps click off quick. They haven't had a lot of time on those tires necessarily, but it might help that there's 2 of them that did not take tires here, but it's going to be tough for them to keep those positions. John Kay rocking that Cole Maxwell scheme here, and the number 2. They are going to go double file, and we will go green on lap 32. This is a pretty aggressive play. Aggressive strategy from Jeremy McKinnon and John Kay, I believe. We'll see if they're able to hang on to it. Rainy. Oh, and we are not going to go green here. Looks like they extended this caution. The lights did go out at one point, and then they came back on. They're out again. Not quite sure what the deal there was. This is a small track, and the pace laps go by quickly. Maybe there were a few in the back that weren't able to quite catch up to the field, so they decided to delay that green flag start. But we will go green this time around. Pace car pulls in, and Jeremy McKinnon is going to lead us to the green. He gets a big jump on John Kay. Ryan Dye on fresh tires. He'll look to make quick work of the number 2. He does. Oh, and there's a little contact. That was Langston who got in the back of, I think that was Stearns. He's fallen a lot of positions here. And Ryan Dye on fresh tires is able to get through on Jeremy McKinnon with ease. Policky gets through John Kay. He will go to work on McKinnon next and then set his sights on that top spot once again. Oh, a little bit of contact between Reynolds and Stearns. And for reference, John Kay, when that caution came out, I want to say he was down in around 15th place or so. And he decided to not take tires. He takes some track position. And we'll see if it works out in the long run. Certainly has worked out so far. He's not losing spots greatly. It is a tough track to pass. So I like the aggressive strategy play here. But, oh man, he's stacking Reynolds up. Reynolds is going to dive to the inside. Heavy battling here on these restarts. Steve Vrooman has made his way into the top 10. Might have only taken 2 tires. I'm not sure. I generally have Mr. Tommy here to do a little reconnaissance for me, but I don't have him here tonight. Oh boy. And John Kay not taking tires. He is going to be under fire from a lot of drivers coming up here. Jan Van Leer had to check up to keep from getting into the back of him through the middle of the corner there in 3 and 4. Oh boy. And the sun is out. This track continues to get hotter and hotter. Up to 123 degrees now. And you just know that those trucks are slipping and sliding underneath of these drivers' butts. McKinnon is now falling back. John K. loose out of turn number 2. Vrooman nearly turns him into the wall. And McKinnon and K are falling back in a hurry now. They might have been hoping for a caution here, I suppose, but I don't think anybody would have gone in except for those two. Tire strategy just did not work out the way that they planned. It's still a net gain for John K, though. McKinnon, not so much. Oh, Ellison and McKinnon, close quarters there. Man, I tell you what, the racing product here at North Wilkesboro and the trucks has been something to watch. Great battles. It is difficult to pass, but it's not like you can't get to somebody. You can get to them and run alongside of them. It's just hard to clear. Creates great racing here around North Wilkesboro. Oh! Somebody locked up the tires there. That might have been Samard. Or no, Michael Dean, I think, maybe. Pretty hot into turn 3. Had to lock him up. Let's go on board with Corey Rutherford here. And this is what he's staring down the barrel of. Nothing but sheet metal on 4 tires in front of him. Nowhere to go. And you can see him really push into turn number 1 there. Had to make a small little correction. He goes to the underside of the 12 now. Working through that traffic beautifully is the number 50 at Rutherford. Towards the front, Policky and Ryan Dye have made quite the gap on Nathan Reynolds in third. That gap's to up over 3 seconds now. Oh, there's a caution out. Oh, and it's Patterson again. That was Policky, I think. Oh my goodness, Policky is blown up. Your points leader, Andy Policky. Big engine damage here. This must have happened right in front of our leaders. It's a self-spin from Ethan Patterson in the 81. You can see your leaders, Ryan Dye and Policky, back there in the frame. Oh, and Policky thought that Patterson was going to come all the way up the track, and he just hits the brakes and doesn't. Let's go backwards. I want to see what Policky saw. What a tough break. We talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, how Policky just had to avoid catastrophe. And he takes heavy engine damage there. He slowed way down, thought Patterson was going to run into Ryan Dye, and he didn't. So there he is, your points leader, Andy Policky. He will still be leading the points after this race, but he's not going to be real happy about this one. No matter what happens here tonight, he will still be the points leader heading into Darlington. But it may only be with a 20-point advantage rather than a 60-plus point advantage, depending on where they finish here tonight. I tell you what, it seems like it never fails. No matter how big of a lead somebody has, it always comes down to the wire. If you're fans of Turn 200, you saw it in the Daredevil series. And it's starting to come to fruition here again in the Venom Truck series. If you look at the driver standings, Brian Dye is only a couple of points away from Steve Vrooman. Steve Vrooman is now all the way up to 6th place, starting on the outside. Those two are going to look to close the gap on Policky, who is now in the pits. Dye will bring us to the green flag. Just over a third of the way through this one on lap 58 of 150. And Chad Stearns has crept his way up even farther. Currently in 4th, working on Jan Van Leer, who's having a great race here tonight. Really awesome to see that number 5 truck running in the front of the field, inside of the top 5. Last week's winner and first-time winner, the 22, Brantley Gainey. Oh, he's loose! He's able to save it. Boy, the rear end of that truck really wanted to go around. Man, they are stacked up here outside of 5th place. Stearns is finally able to clear the number 5 of Jan Van Leer. Oh! Rutherford nearly went around. There's a caution out. Samard is slow. Sargent and Dumig slow as well. And that will bring out our 4th caution of the night. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and Sargent's the one that's going to get loose. He bumps into Rainey, then comes down into the 76 of Samard, right into the wall. Dumig is able to steer clear. But Samard and Sargent take heavy shots into the inside wall. Oh, yeah. Heavy, heavy damage for Samard here. Well, this is a little bit of what we thought it might be. That's our 4th caution of the night. Comes out on lap 62. And I believe pit road was open that time around, I think. Doesn't look like anybody other than Kyle Dumig come down. There's Langston, who has heavy damage on the outside, right side of his truck there. You can still, points leader Policky still sitting in the pits. He's hoping to get a little required repairs fixed and hope that a couple people get taken out of this one so he can at least gain a couple of spots and get some points back. So Chad Stearns, he's gone all the way up to third place here. He actually started in sixth. He fell back a couple of spots there on that first little stint. He's been able to corral it, get in a nice rhythm. He's up to third now. He'll start on the inside behind Ryan Dye, who has led most of this race. Policky did get out front for just a little bit until the second caution of the night came out. As the pace car will pull off and we will go green this time around. Jan Van Leer working the outside here. He's working on Chad Stearns. Boy, close quarters. Really tight between Gainey and Ellison there. Jan Van Leer continues to work on the outside of Chad Stearns. Has not been able to clear quite yet. Oh, and Van Leer nearly got into the wall. He pulled it down just a little bit to stay away from it. Nearly gets into the 05 of Stearns. Stearns is cleared. Oh, not quite. Jan Van Leer now. He finally does. Jan Van Leer's going to have a big run on the outside here. He looks to the inside now. Isn't able to put it on the inside of the 05. As Salamoni and Vrooman now go to work. We've now gone single file through nearly the entire top 10. And you can see everybody. The rear end of these trucks are outside. They are really sliding through these corner exits, trying to get the power down as soon as possible. Oh, the field is really stacked up just outside of the top 10 here. The 22 to Gainey is in 10th. Oh, behind him, it's Matney, Rainey, McKinnon. John Kay is involved there as well. And the yellow is out. Not exactly sure who that's for. I never got a, never got any notice of an accident or anything. The back half of the field was slow, but I think it was just because of the caution. I'm not exactly sure what happened on that one. Nonetheless, that's going to be our 5th caution of the evening as we have some takers on pit road. Not the leaders, though, but lead lap trucks here. Gainey, Rutherford, Krall, McKinnon, Langston coming in. Michael Dean is in. Steve Vrooman is in. Paul Sargent, Kyle Dumig. So that about splits the field in half. As they come out of the pits, the top 10 all stay out. Other than Vrooman. I think Vrooman was inside the top 10 when he came in. Well, let's go through a full field rundown here after pit stops have concluded. It'll be Ryan Dye, Nathan Reynolds, Chad Stearns, Will Salamone, and Rodney Matney in the top 5. Outside of them, Garrett Rainey, John Kay, Ryan Borboom, Eric Breeding, and Cole Maxwell will round out the top 10 here. Rutherford, JVL, Steve Vrooman, Paul Ellison, Michael Dean in the top 15, Brantley Gainey, Michael Krall, Jeremy McKinnon, Paul Sargent, Kyle Dumig, and Luke Peterson round out the top 21. And anybody outside the top 10 right now did come to pit. So about half the field here. Whoa, there's a little testiness going on here. I don't know. I might have just caught somebody not paying attention. Stearns and Salamone made just a little bit of contact there. But we are double file. And the lights on the pace car are out. That means the pace car will come down this time around. And we will go back green here at North Wilkesboro. Lap 83 is up on the board over halfway through the Sundrop 150 here in the Venom Truck Series. And Ryan Dye does not get that awesome start we've seen from him. Nathan Reynolds takes the top spot from the 15. Also want to give a shout out to Nathan Reynolds. We mentioned the YouTube channel earlier today. You can also go to Nitro Racing Setups. I want to make sure I get this correct here. Yes, it's Nitro Racing Setups. Use the promo code CARINSIDE, no caps, no spaces, for 20% off your setups on NASCAR setups for iRacing, open setups. If you're like me and you only race in the fixed series, you don't have them here in week 13. If you want to try your hand at the open setups and you need one, you can get 20% off using code CARINSIDE at Nitro Racing Setups. thanks to the 51, your race leader of Nathan Reynolds. Behind him, it's your former race leader. And as they stand right now, would be second in the points, Ryan Dye, who has led nearly every lap so far, except for a couple that Policky led, and now Nathan Reynolds has gotten around him, and he is under fire from Chad Stearns. John Kay decided to stay out again here, and with the entire top 10 not coming into pit, I think it's going to work a little bit better in his favor probably than it did the first time around. However, some of those folks are moving. Steve Vrooman came into pit. He is on fresh tires. He has made his way all the way up to 6th. Just gets around Garrett Rainey in the 16 here. And Stearns and Dye are stacking up the field right now. Stearns to the inside of Ryan Dye. He is able to clear. So Ryan Dye struggling a little bit on these old tires compared to his competitors. Vrooman able to get around Salamone. That'll put him in the 5th spot. Now looking to go around Ryan Dye. Ryan Dye is really struggling right now. He is falling quickly from 1st all the way down to 5th, but he has Salamone, Michael Dean, and Jan Van Leer breathing down his neck. And Steve Vrooman on fresh tires. You would think he would have the advantage here. I'll tell you what, John Kay is looking really good right now. Staying out. Oh, the caution flies. And that one is going to be Kyle Dumig. And we've seen this a lot already. Self-spins coming out of 4 and out of 2. When you have a track temperature of 123 degrees on this track, it's just going to happen. And there he goes. We'll see if he is able to corral it and not hit the inside wall. Oh, he might have just touched it a little bit, but keeps from taking catastrophic damage there. Good job to get that thing wound up. And here we go. Now the pit stops from the lead pack. And boy, now you're thinking that it was a good idea. Should have came down pit lane the last time around. Well, thanks to everybody that's tuning in here on Turn 200 for the Venom Truck Series action at North Wilkesboro Speedway. After tonight, only 2 races left in this championship. So 7 drivers decided to stay out here that came down pit road last time around. Those 7 drivers are Steve Vrooman, Michael Dean, Jan Van Leer, Paul Ellison, Jeremy McKinnon, Michael Krall, and Brantley Gainey. They all took tires just about 15 laps ago or so. So they will assume the top positions. Behind them, your former leaders, Nathan Reynolds, John Kay, Chad Stearns, Ryan Dye, Will Salamone, Garrett Rainey, Rodney Matney, Corey Rutherford. They round out the top 15. So you would think, from what we've seen, it isn't detrimental to have just a few laps on those tires. I think of all the people that have the advantage here, it's probably going to be Steve Vrooman, who was incredibly fast on those fresh tires. So we'll see how long Steve Vrooman can hold everybody off here. We are now 2/3 of the way exactly through this race, about to start the last third of the Sundrop 150 here at North Wilkesboro as Steve Vrooman takes the green flag on lap 101. Pretty good start from 00. Michael Dean in the 73 looks to the bottom. Good stuff from Michael Dean. And a great looking truck nonetheless. That Baby Ruth 73 in crunch. Oh, and the caution's out. Rodney Matney's around. He'll get it turned around. We'll try to see if we can figure out what happened on this one. Boy, you can see how badly they're stacked up here. This is Matney into turn number 1. And I think he just gets too hot in there. Hits the brakes. And it just spins him around. He gets into Rainey. Boy, Rainey's gotten tagged a lot here tonight. And Boorboom barely gets through. Let's go ahead and take one more look. And we'll go far chase on this one. I'm thinking John K. might have spooked him just a little bit. Thought he had to get on the brakes hard. And that back end of that 83 truck just goes around on him. Able to minimize damage. Contact with a couple people. Actually, Boorboom didn't get through all the way clean. So we'll re-rack him again. Jeff Langston will get a wave around there. And that will be the 7th caution of the evening. All right, everybody. We're getting into the final stages of this race here. If anybody out there watching thinks they know who's going to win this thing, let me know in the chat. And if you don't have anybody you think's going to win, I don't blame you, because this has been a wild one. The folks that were in the front top 5 for most of the race have been the victims of pit strategy and now need to work their way through the field. We mentioned Ryan Dye had dropped a lot of positions on that a couple of restarts ago. After our 5th caution, he went from 1st to 5th pretty quickly. He now finds himself in 11th. So his race has gone from really, really good to just kind of okay and now not so great. He needs to really turn this thing around. As the pace car pulls off, and we are going green. Steve Vrooman leads us into turn 1 again. Whoa, Jan Van Leer up the track just a little bit. John Kay really wide there through turns 1 and 2. Boy, and it's close quarters. It's been close quarters all night, but it's really going to start heating up here. Not a lot of time left to work through the field. A little bit of contact there, a little bit farther back. Somebody got into the wall. It might have been Rainey or Gainey. Whoa, Jeremy McKinnon! Jeremy McKinnon's around. And we will go under the yellow again. I didn't get a great look at how that happened, but we'll see if we can do our best to find it. This is McKinnon on the outside of Jan Van Leer. Oh, and he had some help. Jan Van Leer in the 5 did get into him. Oh, and Van Leer takes a shot also. Let's go to that chase cam. Jan Van Leer in the 5 working the bottom. McKinnon in the 12. Van Leer comes up the track just a little bit too early. McKinnon was trying to keep that truck a little bit straighter to get a good drive out of the corner. And Jan Van Leer, he thought he was going to drift up the track just a bit. So McKinnon goes around, doesn't actually hit that inside wall, though. That's good for him. Minimizes that damage as much as possible. I'll tell you what, I think this entire race has been about minimizing damage. Unfortunately, your points leader, Andy Policky, is back out on the track, but he is all the way down in 24th place. And I think everybody that's in front of him is still on the track. Showing Chad Stearns is a few laps down now as well. I'm not actually sure what happened to Stearns. There was a caution that I didn't see what happened, and could have been on that one that he took the damage. But Chad Stearns, who was looking really nice, he was in the top 3, fighting hard. He's now in 21st. As your top 5 now, Vrooman, Dean, Jan Van Leer, Michael Krall, and Paul Ellison. John Kay on the outside of row number 3. Can we make it last under green this time? Let's find out. Steve Vrooman leads us through 1 and 2, gets a good start again. Top 5 is all single file behind them. Nathan Reynolds and Gainey side by side. Oh, and John Kay's looking to the inside of Michael Krall now. We'll watch both of these battles if we can. Kay looking like he's carrying a lot of speed. He gets around the 11. And he's going for more. John Kay came to pit with the second group when those 2 cautions that were about 15 laps apart came out. He's on fresher tires than Vrooman and Dean. And you can see John Kay made quick work of Jan Van Leer. He is railing the outside of this track right now. Whoa, and he's a little bit loose out of 2. Boy, he's pushing hard here. He goes to the inside now. He's been working the outside. Michael Dean forces his hand. He'll work to the inside of the 73 now. Oh, and farther back, Nathan Reynolds nearly gets in the back of Michael Krall. But John Kay, Allstate John Kay, says that everybody's in good hands, especially him right now. And that steering wheel he has, he's cleared Michael Dean into second place. And he looks to get to the top spot, but he'll have to get around Steve Vrooman. And I'll tell you what, that's just about as tough as anything here in the Venom Truck Series. And the yellow's out. Oh, boy, we're going to rack him and stack him again. Oh, boy, 3 wide. That usually doesn't work out too well. This is Ryan Dye, Jeremy McKinnon, Garrett Rainey. Oh, and Dye gets a little bit loose. Oh, him and Rainey looks like they might have made some contact. Oh, and Rainey goes for a ride. He gets stuck in the wall. What a glitch that was. But Dye and McKinnon are going to take damage on that one as well. We'll take one more look here. See him and Dye just make a little bit of contact. And there he goes. Flies into the infield. Boy, I tell you what, it's been a tough night for Garrett Rainey. A lot of things that haven't been his fault, just the wrong place at the wrong time. And that is not the way you want to cap off a night. Alrighty, folks. That was our ninth caution. And it's starting to get a little dark. Let's take a look at the weather. Track temperature now is only 117. I say only because it was well over 120 earlier on in this race. That's been a little bit of the cause of all of these incidents we've had. Let's take a full field rundown. Your leader, Steve Vrooman, has John Kay, who started on his outside. Nathan Reynolds, Will Salamone, Corey Rutherford rounds out the top 5. Maxwell, Borboom, Michael Krall, JBL. Ryan Dye rounds out the top 10. Ryan Dye still struggling a bit here. I need to talk about pit strategy as well. There are a few. And I say a few. A lot of them came into pit while we were taking a look at that replay. Outside of Dye, Gainey, Ellison, Langston, Breeding, Sargent, Michael Dean, Rodney Matney, Kyle Dumick, Jeremy McKinnon, Chad Stearns, I think are all still out on the track. But the top 4 all stayed out. That's Vrooman, Kay, Salamone, and Reynolds. Everybody else came into pit that time around. Can they hang on? Or will it be a Martin Truex Jr. situation at Las Vegas where they just get steamrolled? We'll have to find out as the pace car pulls off. We're going to take the green flag here. Steve Vrooman leads us to the line one more time. Just inside of 25 to go. Steve Vrooman has John Kay on his outside again. Kay has been working the outside here in the last 25 laps or so. Those top 4 are looking safe so far. But as soon as these tires start to come in for the freshies, I think they're going to be in trouble. Cole Maxwell leads the group of fresh tire players. Oh, Maxwell and Crawl tight. Oh, looked like Reynolds was really loose out of 2. And John K's gotten around Steve Vrooman. I can't believe how much speed he's been carrying around the outside of this track. Now Reynolds looks to do the same. He's really hanging it out, though. Michael Crawl has gotten around Maxwell. Crawl is on fresh tires. 20 laps to go. And this is what John K wants to see. Nathan Reynolds, Steve Vrooman battling hard, holding up the rest of the field. Crawl has nowhere to go. Looked like Vrooman might have been in the wall there for a second. And they are leaning on each other into turn number 1. Nathan Reynolds gets around Vrooman. Now Will Salamone has cleared Vrooman. Not quite clear. Michael Crawl still searching for a way around. As John K has opened up about a second lead over Nathan Reynolds. Crawl now looks on the bottom of Vrooman. I tell you what, I thought he would be really fast with these tires. That's not necessarily the case. He's certainly making progress, but will it be quickly enough? The gap between Reynolds and K is still over a second here. $14 to go. Michael Crawl looked like a little bump and run down through turns 1 and 2. He is not quite clear the 99. He should be down into 1, and he is. So Michael Crawl finally gets that thing into the top 3. Vrooman is falling quickly now. Vrooman down to 7th. But John and K still turning great laps out front. Oh no, the yellow's out. That's the last thing John K wanted to see. And it looks like this one is going to be definitely Rutherford. Let's see what caused it. Looks like it might have been a little bit of a chain reaction. This is Matney behind Rutherford. And he has to check up to steer clear of that truck on the outside. That's the 26 of Eric Breeding. And when he does, Matney just doesn't get checked up behind him. He gets into the back of Boorboom. Into the back of Rutherford. Oh, and he can't keep it corralled. He comes back up into the track. Matney takes a shot, as does Boorboom there. And... oh boy, John K. I think he might have had that thing won. But with 11 to go, the 10th caution of the evening comes out, and now he will have to fend off Nathan Reynolds, Michael Krall, Brantley Gainey, and the rest of the field. Krall and Gainey on fresher tires, much fresher tires than John Kay and Nathan Reynolds. A few trucks near the back came down pit road again. Matney, Maxwell, McKinnon, Rutherford obviously to come get damage repaired. I believe Paul Sargent as well. But everybody inside the top 10, inside of the top 12 actually stayed out. However, they are still on split strategies. If you look at our pit stop laps here, the last lap that John Kay and Nathan Reynolds came into pit, that was lap 86. I'd say they're 86, or I think that's 96 actually. And you can see Gainey, Krall, and Jan Van Leer, they came into pit on lap 122. So a much bigger advantage as far as tire wear goes. Let's see how it plays out. John Kay will lead us to the line on the outside. Not a great start from Reynolds. Brantley Gainey will work on the outside of the 51, but it won't be easy, that's for certain. Reynolds looking for the grip. He drifts up the track just a little bit. He didn't look clear, but he was. Certainly tight there. I'm sure Gainey had to give him just a little bit of room. And Reynolds now looks to possibly make a run on the two of John Kay. 4 to go. Reynolds hanging it out wide outside of 2. Gainey to the inside. Can Gainey clear and make a run on John Kay? 3 to go. Gainey cannot clear the 51 of Reynolds. He'll need to if he wants a shot at this thing. Reynolds goes wide out of 4. He's still there though. 2 to go. A heated battle for second between 4 trucks as John Kay will take the white flag. Gainey finally able to clear Nathan Reynolds. But it'll be too little too late. Allstate, John Kay takes the checkered flag at North Wilkesboro. Boy, I can only imagine how excited that number 2 truck is right now. John Kay tried multiple pit strategies all night long, and it ends up paying off. You can see the love taps from the competitors. We'll let him celebrate, and we'll get to that final rundown here. John K is going to burn it down. A lot of folks burning it down here. Everybody getting in on the John K love. A perennial favorite driver in the Venom Truck Series gets his first win here in Season 5. What a feel-good story out of North Wilkesboro Speedway today. Let's go ahead and get to the final results from the Sundrop 150. Your race winner, John K, takes the checkers. He's going to burn him down here. And second, Brantley Gainey, just a little late. He was finally able to get clear of Reynolds, but it was on the last lap. He wasn't able to make a run on the number 2. Reynolds does hang on for a podium position here. He gets third. Jan Van Leer, what a great run from him in the number 5 truck. He comes out fourth. Michael Krall rounds out the top 5. In 6th, Paul Ellison, Will Salamone, Michael Dean in 8th. Jeff Langston, who was on and off pit road a lot tonight, he took damage. He actually comes away with a top 10 here in 9th. And Steve Vrooman, who came in 2nd in points. I think he will stay there, but isn't going to make as much of a dent on Policky as he needed to. He will get a top 10, but he'll come in 10th. Outside the top 10, Eric Breeding, Ryan Dye, Cole Maxwell, Paul Sargent, Kyle Dumig, Rodney Matney, Jeremy McKinnon, and Ryan Borboom. In 18th, 19th, Corey Rutherford, Chad Stearns in 20th. Man, a tough night for Chad. He was up there in the top 3 fighting for a spot on the podium, and unfortunate luck. He ends up 6 laps down. Also 6 laps down, Pascal Samard, Garrett Rainey, 20-plus laps down, Luke Peterson, Andy Policky, your points leader, Ethan Patterson, and Flinky Roberts actually did not take the green flag here tonight, even though he did join the session and put in some practice. But that will round out your finishers from the Sundrop 150 at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Alrighty, let's get to our top 3. It's a lot different, I tell you, having to do this all by my lonesome. Usually Tommy's here to pull everybody in for me. Let's go ahead and talk to our 3rd place finisher, Nathan Reynolds. Boy, you were fighting for the top spot all night. You were really railing the outside there towards the end of that race. How did it look from your vantage point?
Just hold on tight, and I was trying to do everything I could there to keep fresh tires away from John. But hats off to him. I think he had them covered. It was awesome because John quote races for my team, but you know how that is. And his first win here in Venom, I was gone taking my son to the doctor, so I missed his first win, didn't get to be a part of it. So I was really excited to actually be a part of it this time. It was awesome.
That is awesome. Talk to me a little bit about those tires, because we saw a lot of tire strategy here tonight. A lot of people stayed out when others didn't. John K was one of them and ended up working out for him. As the tires kind of wore down, where were the lines and where was the grip in the track?
Early on, with fresh tires, I could really make the bottom work. It seemed like you would have to start moving up and diamond in the corner a little more as the tires would wear out. And then there near the end, after I got them really hot, my preferred line was the top. I had to make sure that I was getting that preferred run off the top to try to stay in front of anybody. When I got out in clean air, even on older tires, I felt like I could really go anywhere, but that was short-lived. When we had the yellow, I knew that I'd be a sitting duck if I didn't pit. So it's one of those places where you can really just move around anywhere.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the insight. Congratulations on the podium here tonight. I already mentioned it on the broadcast, but go ahead and tell me who you got to thank here tonight.
Well, today is a very special day for the channel here on Car Inside. I want to thank all of my followers and everybody that's been supportive of me over these past couple of years, especially these last 9 to 10 months, picking up around 800 subs over that short span. All those people that put me up over 1,000 today, it's pretty awesome. And something really cool going on this week through Nitro Setups. Everybody head over to nitrosetups.com. And for the week of Phoenix here on week 13, we've got you covered. You can get your B open and your C open setups through Nitro for 20% off. Use the code CARINSIDE, CARINSIDE, no caps, no spaces. And as I announced midway through the race tonight on our stream, because we hit 1,000 subscribers, Nitro's doing a really cool giveaway. There's more details to come, so stay tuned to the channel. But for NIS this week at Phoenix, in the A car, everybody's going to be getting free setups through Nitro Racing. So stay tuned, and we'll release more details. But big thanks to those guys, especially this week. It's pretty special.
Man, that's so awesome to hear. Congratulations to you. I know it's really hard work trying to get that many subscribers, and that 1,000 mark, that's kind of the magical number on YouTube to try to maximize what you can. So that's huge, man. Congratulations on that, and congrats on the third place finish tonight.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, that was third place finisher Nathan Reynolds, and huge news for them. He's got a lot of great stuff going on, so if you haven't, go check his channel out and check out the Nitro Racing setups. All right, we'll go ahead and pull in our second place finisher, Mr. Brantley Gainey. For the second week in a row, we get to talk to him. Last week's winner at Atlanta, and now gets a second place finish at North Wilkesboro. Man, you've been really putting them together here.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to like this feeling a lot. I like talking to you guys at the end of the race.
Well, unfortunately, Tommy's not with me here tonight, so I get to ask you all the questions. I talked to Nathan a little bit about kind of the tires and how different it was. People were trying different strategies there. You opted to come and get tires pretty much as possible. Did you just feel like you might not have been as strong on the older tires, or what made you make that decision?
I mean, honestly, it was a gamble. I shook my magic 8-ball over here, and it said maybe. I think I come in on lap 28. Got tires early, and then I stayed out for a while and saved that last set because I felt like there was going to be a caution with like 20 or 30 to go. Man, that paid off. That was a ride at the end. Yeah, tires were a big factor. Once they got hot, they were shot.
Well, you were on fresher tires than the two that started in front of you, but man, it seemed like it was really difficult to pass there towards the end of the race. What were your strategies trying to get around Nathan there? Because you and him battled for about the last 3 or 4 laps there.
Yeah, I was the first truck with the freshest tires. Which I had Crawl on my inside. He had tires same time I did, but the outside was so strong in 1 and 2. Being able to hold the inside line down, I knew I could get around him. But Nathan, man, props to him. He is a fantastic driver. I was kind of hoping I could clear him quick because I knew if I could clear him quick, I was going to get to John K. Which I had already had assurances that John was not going to let me pass him. So you can ask him about that when he hops in here. But once I slid my fronts going into 3 right towards the end and got them hot, and that was the last shot I had at getting to the lead. But I was able to finally clear Nathan. But I got to give him mad props because to hold on with tires that old as well as he did and fight me like that's skill.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for the insight. Congrats on the second place finish. We love talking to you. Hopefully we might get to talk to you again, and Tommy will too next week. That would be awesome. Any shout outs here tonight for you?
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Jan Van Leer again. All the ICR boys. We've had a rough season. It's starting to come together at the end. I'm glad to see it, man. I hope we can carry this momentum on through next week and next season.
Yeah, both you and Jan Van Leer have both had really strong couple of weeks here. So congrats to you guys, and we will hopefully talk to you next week.
Thanks, Matt.
Alrighty, that was second place finisher Brantley Gainey, who also won his first Venom truck race last week, that is, at Atlanta. All right. I think it's time. We've made him wait long enough. The race winner at North Wilkesboro Speedway, the number 2 of John K.
Oh, that's got a nice ring to it. I ain't gonna lie. Holy cow.
Man,
Oh,
I'll tell you
man.
what. I personally here on the broadcast, and when you had to stay out twice, man, I'll tell you what, there is nothing you would have liked to have seen less than that caution that came out. But, man, I thought you were kind of a sitting duck, and you proved me and everybody else wrong here. What did it take to hold on there at the end?
Well, it's funny. I was more frustrated that the first caution came out than the second one when I was leading and Nathan was behind me. I was getting ready to go around Steve, or try to go around Steve, and that first caution flew out, and I was like, oh man, this is just I'm in trouble. But man, it a lot of practice, a lot of seat time lately. I've been every chance I can get. I'm being gone for 3 months. I'm like, we're gonna sit down, try and race some, get back for a feel of being behind the wheel of anything. And we just stayed calm. Nathan did a good job of keeping me calm, and we were, I was probably the most focused I've been racing in a while.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, you had some time off, but it has been awesome to be able to get you up here in the booth. You've had some strong races the last couple of weeks here in the Venom Truck Series. Tell me about the tires. We talked about the tires a lot here in the post-race interviews. It honestly seemed like you were stronger on old tires than you were on fresh ones. Was that just a product of you practicing on old tires a lot this week?
Yeah, I think it goes back to 2 seasons ago. We were here for season 3. I put in a lot of laps here. I hadn't turned a lap, bought the track. We were racing that week and just practiced a bunch. And I did a lot of full fuel runs, which is like, 130 laps or something to that effect. So there was a lot of practice on old tires then. And then it just this week, it was really getting settled into long runs, because this group is so good. These guys in Venom are so good. We had a couple cautions sprinkled in, but we had a fair amount of long green flag runs. And, I got lucky. I beat my stuff up really early in the race, and I kind of found something there at the end, took it a little easier on the tires once everything started getting mixed matched, and taking my time with guys on older tires when I had the fresh tires to try and keep as much life in them as I could. And it paid off.
It certainly did. We've been shouting out Nathan Reynolds, his YouTube channel. I got to shout out yours. You had Tommy and I on the Venom podcast just a couple of weeks ago. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. JK Gaming is the YouTube channel. And I tell you what, you've been putting in a lot of work. I've seen you putting up a lot of videos about you racing officials and different things. And man, you're starting to put it together.
Yeah, it's just like I said, man, getting back in that rhythm. I love doing this. I love racing. It's so much fun, and it's super easy to sit down, find something you really want to run, and take the hour to sit there, race it. If you're already racing it, you might as well record it. And I like to think I'm kind of funny, so there's some good moments in there. So hopefully you get some laughs, and someday it's, if anything, it's really good memories for a lot, because I try to race with my friends as often as I can, and it's it's just good memories to have and go back and watch and be like, oh man, do you remember this? Do you remember that? So looking to continue the momentum in the officials, keep practicing, keep working on little things, use them to my advantage to get better, and hopefully make some killer content.
For sure, man. But on that Venom podcast, you got kind of decent Kyle Zittle, and I guess kind of funny John K as well.
Yeah,
Man, I'll tell you what.
I can I point something out about the podcast real quick?
Of course.
I'm not sure if it was while we were recording or after, but I do distinctly remember making the content. Man, it sure or the comment, not the comment or good God. Um, I distinctly remember making the comment. There we go. Words are hard. It would be a shame if I made the podium at Wilkesboro with Tommy gone. So those words came true.
I was just about to say Tommy is going to be awfully disappointed and awfully sorry that he missed this one. But I tell you what, I'm pretty darn excited that I got to call the John K. victory in Venom Truck Series Season 5. So, man, congratulations, my friend. That is awesome. I'm glad I was here for it. Tell me who you got to shout out here tonight.
Oh, I'd love to take a moment, shout out my beautiful girlfriend who is currently working on grad school homework and studying for an exam she has tomorrow with the door shut in the bedroom. She's awesome. She lets me do this. I would like to shout out my mom also. She put up with a lot of stuff while I was living at home with her, and I actually picked this throwback because there's a lot of jokes that go on in the Venom Discord about my mom, and everybody loves her, and obviously I do too. She's my mom, so I wanted to run a special scheme that shouts her out in a way on the track. And then I got to thank all the guys in the team, Nathan, Ryan, Eric Breeding, Brandon Byers isn't here, but Brandon Byers too. Will Salamone was in Discord with us, Kyle Dumig, such a great group to spend Tuesday evenings with. And yeah, Nathan kind of helped keep me calm, even though I was a little better off this time than Darlington. I was freaking out during Darlington, but it was fun. It was fun, and I can finally say I beat Nathan Reynolds. So shout out to Nathan for that.
Well, congratulations, my friend. I'm going to use the old Tommy Cook adage here. You go party hard, my friend, and hopefully we'll see you and get you up in the booth next week as well.
Hopefully. We're going back to another place that is really special to me, and I'm reminded every day I get on my rig how special it is. So we're going to go dance with the lady in black next week and see what we can make happen. Try and go back to back.
I love it, man. Well, congratulations again. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, he says. What do you got?
Oh, wait. I forgot to shout out Turn 200. I don't know how I could forget.
Hey!
I got a long list of people to thank. Shout out Turn 200, man. You and Tommy put out great content. If you don't already, make sure to go watch their weekend recaps, Recap 200, and check out Turn 200 Truck Series, Truck 200, on Monday nights.
Heck yeah, baby. You did my job for me there. I don't even have to do it now.
Thanks for the note card. I'm out of here. Have a good one.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, John K. Man, I'll tell you what, that's some exciting stuff. It was an interesting race, that's for sure. We had our fair share of cautions, which we kind of expected here for sure. But man, there was a lot of tire and pit strategy, which I know Tommy's going to be disappointed. He loves himself some pit strategy. So I got to see a great one here tonight at North Wilkesboro Speedway, as did everybody else here on Turn 200. This is the point where Tommy would ask me if I have any final thoughts, and I would shout out everybody in the chat here tonight. Tonight, only two, LFG84 and Madison Bowen, were the only two chatters here with us tonight. But thank you for tuning in. And everybody else who did not chat with us, thanks for tuning in. As John K. said, if you like the content here, think about subscribing. Our magical number on Turn 200 is subscriber turn 200. My goodness, I've finally lost over 2 hours into this broadcast, and I finally lost my marbles. Magical number 200 for us here on Turn 200. I think we're like 8 or 9 away. So if you got anybody that's thinking about subscribing to us and you like the content, please think about it. It would help us out here. And next week, I promise that Tommy Cook, the man, the myth, the legend, will be back. You won't have to listen to me ramble about this any more than you have tonight. Thanks for sticking with us. I tell you what, one of the greatest races of the season, in my honest opinion. So we will see you guys next week. Don't forget, Recap 200 is live after NASCAR races. We do a little NASCAR weekend recap of the Cup Series on Mondays. That video comes out on Monday. We have Truck 200 returns on Monday next week. And then only 2 races left in the Venom Truck Series. The penultimate race of the Venom Truck Series will be on Tuesday next week. You won't want to miss it, from Darlington, the Lady in Black, where John K. will look to go back-to-back after taking the checkers here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. For everybody here at Turn 200, my name is Matt Williamson. Tommy Cook will be back, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace and love, everybody.